All In Sports Network. We love sports.
Welcome back to All In Mizzou with Rogue Media. My name is Davis Wilson. Happy Friday, everybody. Hey, it's Halloween. If anybody cares about that, happy Halloween. I got my Superman shirt on for the occasion to be festive and all for the show. But thanks for joining me. Hope you guys are having a nice day. It's a beautiful, just lovely day here in Dallas. Just very nice weather, ideal. You know, it's going to get up in the high 60s later. Man, it's nice. Sunny. Can't complain too much about that. Typically on Fridays, we'll do a Mizzou football temperature check. I'll have a guest on and we'll talk Mizzou football and whatever else we want to talk about. But today I decided to not do that and to go a different direction here. We're actually not going to talk about football at all, as Missouri is heading into its second bye week of the season. I don't have much to say, so we're just going to talk Missouri basketball, which that season starts soon, really soon. And it kind of snuck up on me. It's like you get so into the football season and you're really locked into that, but then you realize, hey, college basketball is here. Missouri plays its first game of the season on Monday night at 6:00. They're playing in Washington, D.C. against Howard. And then also next week they play on Friday, November the 7th, at Mizzou Arena against Southeast Missouri, SEMO. So 2 games coming up this week. I thought this is a good time to preview the season, take a look at what's going on with the roster, with the team, with all that stuff, with the SEC. Some will do that too. But I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be a fun season. I love college basketball. If anything can compete with college football for me, it's college basketball. It's my 2 favorite sports. It's awesome that they kind of happen at the same time. It's awesome that football starts the year. You're going with football. And then you kind of get both of them going here in November. And then right as football trails off, conference play starts going in basketball. So it's like nonstop. You've got Missouri sports to watch. And I think this Missouri team has a chance to be good again. I mean, this is a team that made the tournament last year. I don't want to talk about the disaster of a game they played in the round of 64 last year, but I will, because that's what this show is all about. But yeah, I mean, they played in Wichita, Kansas, which if you've ever had to drive from Columbia, Missouri to Wichita, Kansas, you'd probably never want to do it again because it's just the worst drive. I mean, once you get in Kansas, it's like, what are we doing? This is all the exact same. I feel like I'm going in circles. But yeah, I drove from Columbia, Missouri, all the way to Wichita, Kansas, and bought a ticket. Was excited for Missouri to play Drake, and Missouri got embarrassed. Really embarrassed. I remember it was a popular upset pick from a lot of people, and I was like, no way. Missouri's going to win. Missouri better win. And then it was really frustrating that being there watching that in person, because you can't just turn it off. You can't turn the TV off. You just have to brave it. I remember buying a really expensive margarita along with a few beers and just saying, you know what? F it. I'm going to drink this margarita, and I don't care anymore. I don't care that it's $15 or whatever it was. But anyway, all that to say, the last taste of Mizzou basketball in my mouth is very sour. It's gross. I hated it. Monday, there's an opportunity to get this new year going, and we'll see how that goes. Dennis Gates, head coach of Missouri basketball, entering his 4th year with the Tigers. In 3 years, he has a 55-46 record. His first year made the tournament, actually won their first round game. Year 2, really a bad team. Really bad. Went winless in the SEC, which, typically is not something you want to do. And then last year they went 22-12, 10-8 in the SEC, which I think is really an impressive number when you think about how good the SEC was. I mean, statistically, I think the SEC was the greatest conference of all time last year. I saw it beat out the 1997 ACC or AAC, I think. No, ACC. Gosh, idiot. So to go 10-8 in that conference is really good. And Missouri was 10-5 at one point, and they lost their last 5 games. Kind of limped into the SEC tournament and beat Mississippi State, and then lost to the eventual national champion Florida, and then, of course, lost by 10 to Drake in Wichita, Kansas. In 23, by the way, Missouri won its first round game against Utah State. And then lost to Princeton, which I was at B12 watching it. B12, and it was also really a bummer. And another situation where I couldn't turn the TV off because I was out and about. I think eventually we just ran home in the cold. I think it was cold and raining maybe. And we just said, I'm going home. I'm not watching this anymore. So hopefully that doesn't happen again this year. Hopefully Missouri can, I think you lost a lot of pieces, important pieces on this team, and you're really counting on, sophomore and juniors who had a smaller role last year to make a step this year. Because they really, they filled some of the holes in the portal, but it wasn't like last year when they went and got Mark Mitchell in the portal. That was a big deal. They're mostly going to rely on guys returning and getting better. And if you think about, the first year to second year jump that Missouri has a history of, you think of like Caleb Grill, his first year, although he was hurt a little bit and didn't play a ton, he was great last year. Tamar Bates also, he was good his first year, but that team was so bad it was hard to tell. And then it felt like he really was an excellent player in year 2. You think of a lot of these situations, and Anthony Robinson, his first year, again, on that terrible team, winless team in the SEC, he was pretty good. Last year, I thought he was really good. And this year, I think he'll take another jump. But it's interesting because in the world of the transfer portal, oftentimes you're just bringing a ton of new guys in. But this team mostly has a nice foundation of returners, and I think that could be the biggest strength for this team. Key returners, Mark Mitchell, who was Missouri's leading scorer last year, averaging 13.9 points a game. He was listed on the All-SEC preseason second team. Expectations for him are going to be high. And he had some great games last year. He was just tough to guard. He's a kind of a matchup nightmare for some teams because he's, quicker than a lot of bigs and bigger than a lot of forwards. So it was, he had some really good performance going through his game log, season high. He had 25 points against Oklahoma. And I think that's the high of the year. Yeah. So it's good to have him back. Anthony Robinson Jr., another guy that I just talked about. I think this guy's my favorite player on Missouri's team. He is really fun to watch. At times, he's extremely, really efficient. Great defender, scrappy guy. He had a problem with fouls, which took him out of a lot of games. And if he can tamper that down and maybe up his volume of 3-point shooting without, subtracting from his percentage too much, that would be good too. He shot 40% from three last year. I think he only attempted like 1.5 threes per game. But hey, he's the only Missouri returner that shot over 34% from three last year, which is one of the concerns a lot of people have about this team, because Gates loves to shoot the three. Gates loves to go fast and shoot threes. And so seeing how they handle that this year without guys like Caleb Grill, who had an excellent year shooting, without guys like Tamar Bates, who was a great shooter, it'll be interesting to see. Trent Pierce, another returner. I think he might be due for a step. It looked like at the beginning of last year that he was going to kind of get things going. He had 13 against Memphis, the opening game last year, 24 points against LIU. Very streaky, didn't have a lot of consistency, but if he can take a step, that would be great. He's got the ability to make threes if he can. That would be great. And again, this guy's 6'10", so he can shoot over people. We'll see. Jacob Cruz, good grief. At times a maddening player to watch, just totally maddening. Averaged 5.6 points a game last year. Had some games where he looked great, like his shot looked good and whatnot, but there were some games where he would come in and just start jacking threes and they wouldn't go in, and it was like, why are we doing this? He shot 33.6% from three last year on 3.6 attempts. A year before at UT Martin, he was a 41.4% three-point shooter on almost 7 attempts. So if you can get back to that guy, that would be great for this team. But Jacob Cruz, maddening player, maddening. I hope, I'm going to root for him, of course, but gosh, it was tough to watch at times last year. Anor Boateng, returning, didn't have much of a role at all last year. A really highly sought after recruit when Missouri got him from Little Rock, Arkansas. He was the 26th best player in his class, according to 247 Sports. Big get for Missouri. Didn't play much last year, but I think he's going to have an important role on this team this year. T.O. Barrett, another guy I think can make a jump. He actually played probably more than Boateng last year. Came in some, really serious spots and seemed to me like a really high-energy player, good defender. So we'll see what happens there. Trent Burns, another guy from that same class of T.O. Barrett and Boateng, really didn't get a chance to play because I guess he was kind of banged up for a lot of the year. I don't remember what the injury was, but the guy's like 7 foot. What is he, 7'5" or something? Let me see if I can find his. 1 second. Yeah, he's 7'3". Okay, 7'3", can shoot the ball. It gives you another big. You lose some of your bigs from last year. Josh Gray's gone. He was a good rebounder for the team. So you're going to need big guys to step in. And that is one area that Missouri did kind of address in the portal. They went and got Sean Phillips Jr. from Arizona State. He's a big guy, averaged 5.5 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, 1.1 blocks per game, and only 18 minutes of playing. His per 40 numbers are pretty impressive. That just means if he played every minute of the game, what would his numbers be? They would be 12 points per game, 11.5 rebounds per game, 2.4 blocks per game. So it just shows you that maybe with more volume, he could be a better contributor, a good rebounder. And Missouri's exhibition last week against Kansas State, he had 14 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double right off the bat for the Arizona State transfer. That's pretty good. More newcomers. Sebastian Mack, a guard from UCLA, played a couple years at UCLA, averaged 12 points a game as a freshman, went down to 9.6 as a sophomore, lost some minutes a little bit, but an experienced guy for sure. We'll see how he fits in. I think he's going to play a lot. Jaden Stone, a really, really intriguing guy. He played at Detroit Mercy during the 2022 and 2023 seasons and was awesome for them. 2 years ago, so 23-24 season, he averaged 20.8 points a game on 42% shooting. The year before that, he scored a bunch too. He shot 51.9% from three. He transferred to West Virginia. It was a big, exciting get for them. And then had a weird, like a scary neck. He fell on his neck weird in practice one day, I think, and missed the entire season, sat out the whole year. So he's coming off a year where he didn't play at all. Kind of an under the radar guy. I think he can be a guy that Missouri leans on just for some shot making. I think he's kind of an exciting guy. And he against Kansas State in the scrimmage had 16 points. So it was pretty good. 4 of 9 shooting. A potentially pretty exciting player there in Jaden Stone, a guard. And then Javon Porter, the brother of Jonte and Michael, Columbia native, played at Father Tolton Catholic. Last year he started at Pepperdine, and then last year transferred to Loyola Marymount. And he averaged 12.5 points a game, 7 rebounds a game, a block a game, 31.6% from three. The year before that, though, at Pepperdine, shot 35% from three, so maybe you have something there. I don't know what his role is going to look like, but there you go. You also have Aaron Rowe and Nicholas Randall as the true freshmen coming in. I'm not sure how much of a role either of those guys will get, but those are the other newcomers. So here's the deal with this team. Hey, I'll do this first, actually. SEC preseason poll. I'll just talk about this. Missouri comes in at number 7 in the preseason poll. I think that's pretty good. I think if Missouri finished 7th in the SEC this year, you're a tournament team for sure, and you feel pretty good about your year. But Florida, of course, the defending national champion, is number 1. Kentucky, 2, and then it goes Tennessee, Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Missouri, Ole Miss, Texas, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia, LSU, and South Carolina. And then, like I said, Mark Mitchell comes in on this preseason All-SEC second team. No other Missouri player made that list. Although I think by the end of the year, Anthony Robinson could be on that list. I also think he could be on a defensive list. He's going to be an exciting player. But last year, this team had the 8th highest efficiency rating offense in the country, according to KenPom.com, which is analytics, college basketball analytics, advanced analytics website. They're 8th in the country in offense, 68th in defense, which was by far the best mark of Dennis Gates' tenure at Missouri. They really struggled with defense his first 2 years. pretty good improvement there. If they can even up that number a little bit, I think that would be great for them. But yeah, I mean, they they have an identity, and that identity is they want to score a lot of points. They want to get out in transition. They want to shoot threes. The question is how, if at all, does that change with this team where you lose your best shooters? And, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Rebounding was an area where Missouri really struggled. They were 301st in defensive rebound percentage last year. Really bad. Their only really efficient rebounder was Josh Gray, and he's gone. So you're hoping that Sean Phillips can be a good rebounder. You're hoping you get more from Mark Mitchell and Boateng and whoever else is going to play. But that's an area where Missouri needs to be better, is rebounding. They got to get rebounds. There are a lot of really irritating possessions last year where defensively you get a stop and then couldn't get the defensive rebound, and it leads to second or third chances, and ultimately you score. But that's somewhere Missouri has to be better. We'll see about that. Yeah, I talked about this 3-point shooting team, how much they like to do it. They attempted 23.7 3-pointers a game last year and shot about 36.7% from behind the arc, which was good enough for 44th in the country. Yeah, I don't know who's taking those shots now that you have Caleb Grill and gosh, sorry, and Tamar Bates gone. I guess Jacob Cruz. Dennis Gates did say he wants Jacob Cruz to make 100 threes this year, which is really a scary thing to see. But maybe he's going to be more efficient. I don't know. I think it would be nice if you see Anthony Robinson. Maybe, he's an efficient 3-point shooter, but maybe if you can increase his volume a little bit and maintain a good clip, that would be huge for this team. We'll see if Trent Pierce can make a step. He always had a good-looking jump shot, so that's always at least a good foundation. And then, maybe Sebastian Mack. I don't know. There's definitely areas there. It's just kind of you don't know yet, and it'll be interesting to see. But I think offensively overall, you're returning your first leading scorer, but you're losing your second, third, and fifth leading scorers. So there are going to have to be guys who make steps. I think Mark Mitchell is going to make a step. He was great last year, but maybe more consistently great would be an expectation of mine. Same with Anthony Robinson. I think there's a world to me where Anthony Robinson is this team's best player, just because of, when you have a fun guard like that, it's like half the battle. I feel like sometimes in these big games, it's like you have a fun guard who can make and make shots. He's a great defender. He needs to cut down on the fouls. Like I said, a real problem of his last year was he would get in foul trouble, and it would be really, really tough because he'd get sent to the bench, and then you lose him for a lot of the game when he could have been in there. But I mean, I just think about some of those. I mean, he had some really great moments for Missouri. He had 29 points. Excuse me, 29 points against California. And that was a crazy game. If you remember that game, Missouri had lost to Memphis in a really disheartening way to open the year last year. They were up at half and then kind of, excuse me, but they, well, I'm not going to, no need to swear here. They gave the game away in the second half, and Memphis ended up winning. So you can imagine after the 0-18 SEC campaign the year before, fans were very antsy. They were like, okay, same old Missouri here. Are we going to win a game? And then they end up rattling off 6 non-conference wins in a row. And then and then California comes to town, a team that was the best of the non-conferences that they faced outside of Memphis, but still not a very great team. And they jumped on Missouri, just jumped all over them. Looked like it was going to be a terrible loss like that. If you lose that game, man, the whole season goes differently. But Missouri storms back, and a lot of that was because of a really, really nice game from Anthony Robinson. He had 29 points in that game. He shot 13 of 15 from the free throw line, had 6 assists, 2 steals. Like, that's the type of stuff you can, if you can get that every once in a while from him, man, that's awesome. And then again, he was really, really good, especially defensively, the game right after that against Kansas, where Missouri beats Kansas at home. He had 11 points, good shooting, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals. That's where things can get really exciting, is when he gets 5 steals. And then the next game against LIU, he had 6 steals. Just, it's fun to go through his game log, because there was just games where he's like, gosh, this guy's awesome, you know? And he's really an efficient player too. So I think there is a world where he's your best player for Missouri all around. Maybe not your highest scorer, but also maybe, I don't know, probably it's going to be Mark Mitchell. But I think there's a world where you walk away from this season and say, Anthony Robinson was our best player. I don't think that's crazy to say. Definitely my favorite player, probably in all of college basketball. I love him. I didn't mention the outgoings that Missouri had this year. Obviously, Josh Gray gone, Tamar Bates gone, Caleb Grill gone, but you have some transfers as well. Peyton Marshall, the big boy from where's he from? Peyton Marshall. I don't remember. Oh, Georgia. Okay, that makes sense. He transferred to Georgia Tech. He was from Georgia. Transferred to Georgia Tech. Marcus Allen also goes home. He was from Miami, transferred to the U. And Aiden Shaw, a guy that everybody really wanted to work out here, I remember this really well. Aiden Shaw committed to Missouri under the previous regime. And when Gates came in, I think he may have decommitted. I think that's right. Actually, maybe don't know that for sure, but he committed under Quenzo Martin. When Quenzo was fired, I think he decommitted, and it was Gates had to go and keep him around, and he did, and that was a big deal for me as a fan who, a new head coach. It's like, this would be really cool if you could keep him, and they kept him. Never really turned out for him, unfortunately. He transferred to Boston College. So there you go. Last couple things here before I leave. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about with this team. I think this is a year where we find out a lot about Missouri's current state as a basketball program, because one, you're going to be really relying on development. They're going to have to develop some guys to be more improved and better contributors. And that's a really big part about coaching. And like I said, Gates has done a good job of that at times. So we'll see. But that'll be big. I mean, for the last 4 years now, it's been bad season, good season, bad season, good season. This is his chance to say, we're a good program, and we're going to go back to the tournament. Excuse me. Let me look up this real fast. Yeah, the sign of a good program is, not doing it every once in a while, but going to the tournament, a couple times in a row. Missouri hasn't been to the tournament consecutively since the Frank Haith era. In 2011 and 2012, they went, and then a year later, they went 2013, 2014. Since then, they have not gone to the tournament back-to-back. So this is your opportunity. This is when you say, Gates is a good coach. This program's a good program. You got a pretty crazy recruiting class coming in. Here's your chance to kind of start building some momentum as a program. we'll take a look at Missouri's schedule. They got some fun games, of course. They always seem to have some pretty fun games, even outside of just the gauntlet that is the SEC. But their first big, Power Four game is against Minnesota. You'll remember 2 years ago, it was the year that Missouri was terrible, but they squeaked out a win at Minnesota, which was kind of it was nice to win that game. I remember watching it. And then some other big games. They host Cleveland State, Dennis Gates' former school. They coached at. They travel to Notre Dame. They play Kansas in Kansas City. It's a neutral game. I would prefer you play those games at their respective campuses because it's so much fun. But at least you're playing them again, and it'll be I think it should be a really good game again. Then you have Illinois, of course, to close out non-conference, another rivalry game, this one in St. Louis, the other side of the state. SEC play opens on January 3rd. And, you look at this SEC schedule, man, it's so tough. Florida, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn to start. Florida, Kentucky back-to-back to start is going to be tough, and it's going to be tough not to get disheartened when Missouri might lose both of those games. But it's a long season. I think Missouri has experience. I'm excited. I really am excited. I love college basketball so much. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But let me read off the box score from the whole box score from the exhibition against Kansas State. By the way, Missouri won that game. I think it was 100-91. So lots and lots of points, not a lot of defense, something we've kind of come accustomed to in this era. But Javon Porter played 18 minutes, scored 7 points. 2 rebounds. Mark Mitchell, only 5 points, only played 11 minutes, though. Sean Phillips, 14 points, 10 rebounds. 3 of them were offensive rebounds, played just over 18 minutes. Sebastian Mack, 9 points, 2 rebounds. No assist. I want to see him get more assists, man. He didn't get many assists at UCLA. I guess he's not really a playmaker type, but it is what it is. Anthony Robinson, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. He had the highest plus-minus in the game, plus 16. Jacob Cruz, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 of 5 from 3. So we know exactly what we're getting here with Jacob Cruz, the same old guy. Anor Boateng, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. He was 4 of 5 from the field, 6 of 7 from free throw land. T.O. Barrett, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. That's good. Jaden Stone, like I said, 16 points in 17 minutes. Very good, very efficient. Nicholas Randall had a point. Luka Northweather, I didn't talk about him. He's a transfer from Oklahoma, a local Missouri kid. Not sure the role he's going to have, but he's a big guy, and maybe he can contribute here and there. And then Aaron Rowe played 10 minutes, had 5 points. All 5 were free throws, so he got to the free throw line pretty good. The leading minutes getter was Anar Boateng. I love that. Another prediction of mine is that he turns into a really nice piece for Missouri. If you can get like him, Trent Pierce, and T.O. Barrett to all take steps, this team's going to be fun. This team's going to be a lot of fun. Even if you get 1 or 2 of them to take a good step, that's going to be awesome. And maybe Trent Burns, I don't know. It's tough to kind of gauge with him because he's kind of hurt again. He didn't play in this scrimmage, but Pierce didn't either. I think Trent Pierce was also had some sort of little injury going on. Missouri shot 27.3% from 3, was 6 of 22. Not exactly fantastic, but from the field, they were 34-62, 54.8%. Free throw line, they got to the free throw line 34 times. That's another thing that Missouri did really well last year. They got to the line a lot. And it seems like maybe they can do that again this year. They were 76.5% from the free throw line. Missouri's biggest lead was 19 points. They went on a 14-0 scoring run. 14 turnovers for the Tigers. They forced 14 from Kansas State. 54 points in the paint, man. That is not exactly something we've come to expect from these Gates teams, but that would be awesome if that can continue. Second chance points, 17 for Missouri, 14 for Kansas State. Fast break points, 29. I told you, man, they love to get out and run. And then from off the bench, they got 49 points. Almost half their points came from off the bench. Their best points getter off the bench was Jaden Stone and then Boateng. So there you go. That's all I have. I'm excited, man. This is awesome. Like last week, I was doing a podcast, and randomly I remembered Missouri basketball might be starting, and I looked, and it was like next week, and I think you can probably see it on the podcast in real time. It's like, my God, we're here. We've made it to college basketball, especially for me now. We're the NBA has become. I'm just really still angered about the whole Luka thing, and I just don't have the love in my heart for the NBA that I used to. So it's nice to have some college basketball. And I'm not saying I hate it or anything. I still watch, but it's not the same passion I've felt in the past for that league. So to have college basketball coming back, a team that I can root for without any shame, unlike the stupid Dallas Mavericks, the Missouri Tigers, I can root for them and feel great. And I hope that they can give me some fun things to cheer for, give us all some fun to cheer for this year. But that is all I have for today. Basketball talk, mixing it up. Next week, I'll talk basketball, man. Hell yeah. We'll talk some basketball. We'll see what happens in that Howard game. And yeah, that's all I have. Thanks for joining me. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween. I'll see you guys Monday. Enjoy some football this weekend. Hold on. Last thing I have. Let's see if there's any great college basketball games coming up. The first couple. Looks like the season starts on Monday. Is there any good game? Oh yeah, Arizona, Florida at Arizona is a big game at 6:00 in Vegas. I guess they're probably doing one of those kind of cool. Hold on. See if there's anything else. Come on, give me something else. It's making me read through the entire Monday schedule. Like every team is playing. Pretty much every team is going to play on Monday. But there's usually a couple exciting games to start. Come on. I'm only going to read this a few more minutes. Oh, Villanova at BYU, also in Vegas. So there you go. There's a couple nice games. Maybe we can watch those on Monday. But I'll be back before then. We can talk about that later. Anyway, that's all I have. I've kept you here for too long. Happy Friday. Thanks for joining. Come back Monday.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.